Bros, which is a trendy hashtag for men in general or black men in particular who are exploring their options as it relates to dating and family and marriage, recreational sex, aka sex tourism, economic advantages, and just expanding their horizons overall. Because like I tell brothers, especially people who haven't been out of their hometown, haven't been out of the state, haven't been out of their country, there's nothing comparable to being able to step out of an environment that you've been subjected to your entire life or the majority of your life, and being able to have firsthand experiences on making connections with different people and being able to reshape your perspective looking back into the environment that you're gonna have to go back home to at some point. If you have the privilege in your life as an American, as a black man in America in particular, to step out of an environment that you've known forever that does not serve you well, then it would behoove you to at some point take that opportunity and get the fuck up out the crib. If you could do it at least once, you would be a fool not to. So yeah, with that being said, today I've decided to break my silence in these YouTube streets and briefly share my thoughts on international travel and the Passport Bros in 2023. I know this is trending, and I know that it's especially caught wildfire in the so-called black community. I'm not here to bash black women. I don't like when people do that. I think that the issues in the West transcend race, and it's not just black women. I'm of the opinion that black people in general, black men and black women, have both been the face of a lot of good and a lot of bad in Western society. Oftentimes we tend to bring attention to certain stereotypes or certain subcultures, and it's always under the radar until we start doing it. Ratchetness and baby mama culture and I don't need no man and I don't need no NIGGA, that was all sisters for the past few decades. But they ain't the only ones, and now that's pretty common among a lot of different nationalities and races and ethnicities. Same thing with the Pookie and the Ray Ray stereotypes of black men. That ain't just black men right now. That's a lot of young American men in society today. Conversely, it's not just black men that are considered passport bros. It's not just black men that are expats. It's not just black men that have explored sex tourism destinations. But like I said before, for whatever reason, it's always under the radar, or it's always cool and given a pass until brothers start doing it and it gains traction, and now all of a sudden it's a big problem. It's a big epidemic and it needs to be addressed, and it's trafficking and abuse and oppression and all this other stuff. Where was all that energy when Stella was getting her groove back and when all other men from other nationalities and other ethnicities have been exploring the world and exploring their options for decades? Where was that energy? Where were these talking points? Where were these false concerns at? The people that constantly fuel these battle of the sexes conversations refuse to look at the root of the problem. They looking at passport bros and incels and toxic masculinity and all these buzzwords, and they're just unwilling or unable to acknowledge the legal ramifications, the barriers that's being put in place that's getting in the way of people even engaging with each other, let alone dating. They're not paying attention to the economic factors that's playing a role. And every single time we get a public figure with a big enough platform to shed light on these issues, you got people and organizations that want to rally together to cancel them, that want to shame and censor them, and to add insult to injury, lie about them. How many times do we have to hear that if a man isn't putting up with the toxic bullshit in his current environment, then he has to be weak? Or he is intimidated by a strong, independent woman, or he need to step up his game, or he's controlling. And how many times has that all been proven to be cap? Lies, bullshit. They just keep repeating the same cap over and over and over and forcing lazy and weak-minded people to believe it. Again, we looking at all the receipts now. And from what we can see, based off of men actually going other places, starting families, starting businesses, having fun, whether it's for a day or for a month or whatever the case is, these men are not looking for control. Generally speaking, we're not looking for control. We're looking for cooperation and a little bit of respect. That's it. I would argue that men from America are some of the most equal rights minded people on the planet. Do you know how anti-woman other parts of the world can be? Listen to some of the women that are telling their stories instead of trying to talk over them or try to ignore what they're saying. There's brothers that's going to other countries and treating the women better than they're accustomed to. The people that's hating on the passport bros aren't talking about that. They're not talking about the quote-unquote strong women in other countries. Look, man, nobody wants a weak partner, male or female, whatever. I don't think anybody wants a weak partner. You want a strong partner. You want somebody strong that has your back. You feel me? Somebody that's ride or die with you. The missing component here is cooperation. If you can have a strong, cooperative person that got your back, that's all any man can ask for. So come on, man, stop all the cap. You can tell that the Passport Bros in combination with other factors are collectively having a very significant impact on the dating market here in America just by looking at what's being presented and what's not being presented, what's being beeped about and what's not being beeped about. Matter of fact, do me a favor. I should have said this in the beginning of the video, but if this is your first time listening to me and one of my rants, please like, share, comment, subscribe. But if you listen to this video in its entirety, do me a favor and let me know in the comments what you see down your timeline of social media, be it Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever the case may be, where you looking at your peers, people that you know, people that you follow, things of that nature. Let me know what you see, because what I see a lot of brothers traveling and they got these big smiles on their face that I have not seen them have in a long time. When I'm looking at a lot of the younger Western women, unless they're kind of traditionally minded and happily married with families, because I follow those females too, the single ladies that I'm following, they're either looking good by themselves, they all dolled up nice and they going to these expensive places, or I see them out with their girls, but they not really with any significant others, or they hanging around with some simps that they don't even want to share who they hanging out with. So with all that being said, man, once again, shout out to the Passport Bros. Everybody that's having this conversation, I really appreciate that. I'm really enjoying it. I support y'all. I haven't been able to travel since 2019 due to the pandemic in 2020 and me joining the military. I fully support the Passport Bros, and I'm telling y'all right now, like, any young men at this point that I come across in my personal life that either got their blinders on or they need to expand their horizons, I'm always put that bug in their ear. And this is not just about seeing them chase up behind a bunch of women. This is about getting people to expand their horizons and really get the message out there that, hey, go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it. You feel me?